I'm back. I told y'all that my Uber Eats people was going to interrupt my live, and it happened. So I'm sorry. So we were doing, I was catching y'all up on what's been going on with my mother. So this is a Saturday special edition of CommenTERRI. I don't even have no real clothes on or nothing. But this is what we doing today, okay? And somebody just commented on my prior live and said, girl, can you go and do something about your lashes and them nails? And I was like, well, what you want me to do? What she want? She want me to take the lashes off? This not a strip. These are them individual things that they stick in there and then it lasts for a long time. So what she want me to do? Pluck them out? I can't do that. It'll hurt. And then she made a comment about my nails. I already said, I know y'all sick of these green nails. I'm sick of them. But if you knew what my life has looked like these last 2 weeks, you would not say shit to me about when am I getting my nails done. I'm getting them done whenever I can just get my life together for 3 hours straight. That's when. And when I have 3 hours, I don't want to go sit in the nail salon. I want to lay on my couch and get my mind together or sleep. So I'm sick of these green nails too. I've had them since December the 16th. But shout out to the nail salon with the gel polish. Come through, because it has been since December the 16th. And yeah, I'm sick of them too. Like the girl who commented on my last live was like, can you go get your nails done and do something about your lashes? People be getting on my nerves. Anyway, y'all know it's no shame in me. I'm sick of the nails too. And I don't care if you don't like my lashes, because I have to be on TV and on podcasts. I got shit to do. So I got to have my lashes. Okay. So let's go back to before Thanksgiving. That's where the story was starting when I got interrupted. So we're going to pick back up there. Prior to Thanksgiving, no, I had taken y'all all the way back to 2018. My mother was living her normal life, albeit she did have arthritis back then. She was doing fine. My mother had never been in the hospital for anything other than to have 2 babies. She had me, then she had Cheryl. My mother had never been back in the hospital ever again in life. Can you imagine going all the way through life, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, and never having to go into the hospital ever for nothing? That was my mom, right? No, on nothing. Now, my mom was obese for many years. She was a heavy set lady. So when I show you some retroactive pictures, you'll be like, oh my goodness, that was Miss Carrie? Miss Carrie was a size 26 women's. Yes, she was. She was with the thickness, thick. And so, a lot of times when she would have her annual appointments, the doctor would say, Carrie, you got to lose that weight. That weight going to be hard on your legs when you get older. And my mother would be like, whatever. My mom has always marched to the beat of her own drum. Even my dad used to say to her, Carrie, you got to get that weight down. You got to get that weight down, Carrie. And my mother would be like, some men like big women. She just was herself. Okay. But other than the weight, my mom never had any health issues. All her blood would always come back. No high blood pressure, no low blood pressure, no nothing. So fast forward. She did started, having ailments. So she stopped smoking cigarettes. This was back. I think she stopped when my mom stopped smoking cigarettes. I was like a young teen. So she stopped smoking cigarettes. And then over time, she stopped drinking. My parents both used to smoke and drink. Not like alcoholics or nothing crazy, but they both used to smoke and drink. And my house was the party house when I grew up. All my uncles, and they both had. It was just always the party house, playing cards, playing 8-track tapes and Barry White and all of that stuff they used to do, okay? So, 2018 comes. We had a family reunion in Tampa, Florida. Well, once me and my sister became adults, we don't be driving no damn Florida. We ain't doing that with these crazy ass kids we got. We was like, oh, yeah, no, Mom, we not driving. My mother did not like to fly. My mother and Aunt Mary drove from here to Florida, Tampa, Florida, 2018, July. Stay with me. We flew. We had the family reunion, all good. Everything's good. Mom, her normal self. She's the huckabuck. She all the things, just fine. Being a grandma that go everywhere and do everything she want to do. She and I married drove back from Tampa to Maryland. Seemingly everything's cool. That same week, maybe about 5 days into that week, my mom was in the bathroom at home or wherever. She was in the bathroom wherever she was, and said she hurt so bad she couldn't get up off the toilet. So David and Sonny were with her, because back then they were younger. And they called me and Cheryl. I don't know where we were. I don't know what was going on in that day, but they called us and said, Grandma can't get up off the toilet. And we was like, what you talking about? And she just couldn't get up. She said she hurt too bad from the waist down, right? So this was 2018. Called the ambulance and took her to, back then it was PG Hospital, which we hated. It was so horrible. My mom, she was in so much pain. She really was. She wouldn't walk, and we couldn't lift her. She was a big lady back then. And it was weird, right? So after testing and stuff, that the hospital was like, she had a hyperactive thyroid, and they said she has Graves' disease. So Graves' disease is something that's related to the thyroid. And then one thing led to another. So now it's Graves' disease and dementia. This is 2018. So we made a decision that, Mom gotta go back to my sister's house so that she can be on one level as far as getting to a bathroom and all of that. She improved. They moved in with my sister. This is 2018. They moved in with my sister. So that's how we ended up leaving our house in Kentland that we had been there for like 40 years. We moved in a house in Kentland in 1975. And my mom and dad moved out in 2018. How many years is that? 75, 85, 95, 05, 15. They lived in that house for 43 years, y'all. So many memories. So many memories growing up in that house. Man, that's for another live. I can go down memory lane and talk to y'all about that 43 years of being in that house where I grew up. But anyway, so they moved in with my sister in 2018 because my mom is diagnosed with having Graves' disease and dementia. So after that, she was put on medication, and she started to really, get back to her kind of normal self. So we let her start driving again. And then one day, maybe like a month after we let her start driving again, she got lost in Anacostia Park, y'all. She was going to go to one of her card games somewhere in DC. And this is how I know God is always with my family, because she got lost in Anacostia Park, didn't know what was going on. It was a young man who was playing basketball, and he was just like, ma'am, call one of your daughters. So he got her phone, and she told him who to call. I think he called Cheryl. And then they called me on three-way and was like, this young man is with Mom. He said he'll stay with her until one of us get there. From that day on, we never let her drive again. We took her car keys. And so she continued to be okay, live pretty much of a normal life, but just starting to decline over time with the mental, not remembering stuff. And it started to just get bad over the years, right? And that's when we decided to start videoing her, right? That's why we got all of this content with my mom, because once we realized that her mind was going this way, we started doing videos and stuff, right? So she continued to be okay. No more issues. She just started to, deteriorate as far as her memory and cognitive stuff, like mainly memory. And then she started losing weight because she don't remember to eat. Then, so I'm just trying to get y'all caught up to from 2018, what has occurred with my mom from 2018 to where we are now in 2026. But really no more major issues other than the mind going down and her arthritis getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, right? Where it comes to the point where she can barely get around without a walker or assistance. But still very independent. She just hasn't driven since 2018, since that day she got lost in Anacostia Park, right? So the week before Thanksgiving of 2025, now we're up to date. My mom and my sister surprised me by coming down here to my condo. So that shows y'all she was still her normal, as normal as can be self. They surprised me, came down here to my condo the week before Thanksgiving. My mom still being independent. She real slow, got her walker and all that stuff. But she was in here. We had a great day. My grandbaby was here. She was holding her great grandbaby and we was laughing and talking about stuff. I got a lot of videos that I'm going to post some today because it's going to help me. It's going to help me with my mental health and the journey that I'm taking right now, trying to process what's going on with my mother, right? Because it's been hard on me. So I'm going to post some of those videos that I never posted to kind of like manifest, like maybe we can have this with her again. But everything was fine is what I'm saying. She was here. She was fine. Cheryl was like, I'm going to go get the car. You bring Mom downstairs. So I was like, Mom, get up. She get up out the chair. And I said, Mom, put your coat on. She put her coat on. And then I help her get in her wheelchair. She know what to do. She's like, I know how to do it. She know how to do it. She get in her wheelchair and I wheel her on down outside. And they leave. That was on a Saturday. That next Tuesday, I'm at my job. My sister's at her job. Because we both had started new jobs. And I don't know who calls us. I think maybe my son said, Grandma can't get up. And we like, what? Same thing. Remember what happened back in 2018? Where she had so much pain she couldn't get up? So this happened the 2 days after her being down here at my condo. Now, nothing else transpired. She didn't have no fall or nothing like that. She just sat on the edge of her bed that Tuesday before Thanksgiving and said, that hurts too much. And we were like, what hurts too much? She said her leg, her left leg, which is the worst leg regarding arthritis. It's really bone on bone and it's bad. And my mother was never willing to have the knee replacement surgery like my daddy did. My mother was never willing to do that. So now it's just far too gone. So this day, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, she was like, it hurts too bad. And I mean, she was screaming, y'all. So by the time I got there and I could see with my eyes, like she really is, whatever is hurting her so bad, we don't know what it is. We don't know what has happened. But I'm going to call the ambulance because she used the bathroom on herself. And we were like, Mom, what the hell? But she did that back in 2018 too. That's what made us take her to PG back then. She was like, I can't make it to the bathroom. I can't, it hurts too bad to move my legs. So I called the ambulance. Ambulance came, put her on the stretcher, took her to Doctor's Hospital in Lanham. Now, this is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Remember, I told y'all this was my first Thanksgiving in my 55 years of life, not having my mother with me on Thanksgiving. And it was devastating for me. But we got through that. She was in the hospital. And at Lanham, they discovered that she had a mass on the back of her brain. And this is something called meningioma. But they said it's not cancerous. And it's probably not the reason that she's screaming of this excruciating pain, because they said they did the MRI, CT scans, x-rays, they did everything. And they didn't see that anything. They were just like, yes, she does have arthritis in both legs. And yes, it's bone on bone. But what is causing this random, I can't walk anymore and it hurts too bad, don't go near my leg? It was, nobody knew, right? So Doctor's Hospital discharged her to Doctor's Rehab in Lanham. They're kind of like connected, kind of like right there. So we're still puzzled. Like, we're like, what has happened to my mother? One Saturday, she's here in my condo, everything cool, we laughing and joking, she getting around with her walker in her wheelchair. And on that Tuesday, we at the hospital and nothing really happened except she was sitting on the edge of her bed and she's like, I can't get up. So Lanham Rehab, same thing. They're like, okay, we're going to try to rehab her and see if we can get her to move that leg. She laid in that bed every day screaming to the top of her lungs if you would touch that leg. We have gotten her to an orthopedic specialist. They did their own x-rays and stuff. They didn't see anything that's causing this random excruciating pain other than, like I said, they said she's got really bad arthritis, which we already knew. They gave her a cortisone shot in that one that the leg that she kept saying was so bad that we was like, okay, well, maybe with the cortisone shot, it can give her some relief and maybe we can rehab her and get her to at least walk, stand, or something, because this is weird. So maybe a week or so. Now we're getting into Christmas. My mom is at this rehab facility now. And we're just dumbfounded. Like, what is going on? Why is she in so much pain? They've tried everything. So then she gets a bed sore because she's laying there, won't let nobody rehab her. So she just lays there, and then she's like, I gotta use the bathroom, but she can't get up. I need to go. It's just been a whirlwind of shit, right? So once she got the bed sore, the pain and the cries out started getting worse. Something I've never seen before. So we're like, what is wrong? And she started screaming for her mom. My mom was going through bouts of saying, I'd rather be dead than to hurt this bad. And it's killing me and my sister, right? Because this is not the lady that we know. We're like, what the hell is happening? All of a sudden. So, Christmas was the first Christmas in 55 years that I didn't have my mom with me. We went up there with her. She, y'all saw the pictures that we all gathered around her for Christmas. And, she didn't even know. She's like, what is today? It is. So we got through that. And then January 5th, the shit happened with me, y'all, that I told y'all about. And then I went to the rehab center to see my mother. And her screaming, I was walking down the hall and I could hear my mom screaming, and I hadn't even gotten to her room. And I'm like, damn, this is just crazy. Nobody knows what's going on. Why is it, da-da-da. So I called her primary care physician, and he said, send her back to the emergency room because something is really, really hurting her for the screaming to be nonstop now and disruptive and just not like her. So I did that. I told the people at the rehab, I said, my mom needs to go back to the ER because her doctor said so. So we got her together, took her to now the only hospital that would accept her, because everybody is filling up the ERs these days. I don't know what's going on out here in the world, but they were all full, not taking nobody except Holy Cross, and then the University of Maryland, the PG hospital that's now called University of Maryland. I said, she ain't going there. No. So the ambulance took her to Holy Cross. So y'all remember me telling y'all about Holy Cross about a week or so ago. When she got to Holy Cross was just like, oh my goodness, her bed sore has gotten so bad. The wound has gotten so deep. Now, me and my sister, we not doctors. We ain't never, I've heard of a bed sore, but we don't know. We don't know nothing about none of that. So we've been listening to the people at Lanham doctors community saying, oh, yeah, it's just, it's a bed sore. And we've been treating it. We've been cleaning it. We put this stuff in it and it's going to, all of this pus came out. So that means it's getting better. So we just listening to them. Well, remember the day I told you I went there and she was screaming so bad. It hurt my heart so bad. And I called her doctor. The doctor said, take her to the ER. ER said her bed sore was at a level 4. The wound was so deep and she was screaming so bad. And when I say screaming, I don't just mean, I mean, my mom was screaming almost like when you see people with a tic, almost like every other breath, consistently, y'all. I'm not lying. That's why my sister and I want to reach out to the masses to find out if anybody else has gone through this, because it's a case study at this point. This is weird. So Holy Cross got it under control instantly. And they got my mom to stop screaming. So what did they do? We don't know. They said, okay, well, she needs morphine. And they gave her morphine intravenously at Holy Cross. So that got her, she was back sitting up in her bed. Y'all saw the video. I showed y'all a video and I said, tell everybody you doing well. What's your name? She said, Carrie Jones Nichols. I'm doing better. She's like, I'm blessed. I'm 80. All of the things. I was like, oh, I got my mama back. Cause she was like, I was like, Mom, do you hurt? She's like, I mean, from the waist up, I feel fine. You know, my legs hurt, but I gotta go to the bathroom. Come on, let's get up. All of that. So we thinking, oh shucks, okay, now she can be rehabbed because they got the bed sore under control. They got it from a level 4 to a level 3. And then Holy Cross is like, after 3 days, they was just like, well, your mom is being discharged. You know, she doesn't need to be admitted. We got the bed sore from a level 4 to a 3. So she's being discharged. And we're like, huh? Oh, okay. She still is saying she can't walk. And we don't know what to do. So we got her accepted at Larkin Chase Rehab in Bowie. Because we're like, well, now that she's not screaming anymore constantly and just calling for her mother and asking to die, maybe now we can rehab her so that she can get back to her pre-Thanksgiving self and just be able to get up independently and get to a wheelchair or get to the walker, right? I'm not lying. Y'all can go back and look at my social media. Look at the video that I posted on Saturday, this past Saturday. That's the day that we got her back from Holy Cross. We got her to the rehab. And I was so elated because I'm like, y'all, look at her. My mom is doing better. We on the road to recovery. She was at the rehab doing her stuff on her phone and had her little glasses on doing her stuff. And she was just like, how long we gonna be here? All of that. This was Saturday. Last Saturday. Me and my sister were so happy. Y'all remember, because on Sunday I had pep in my step. I cooked a big old meal here by myself. I had all this stuff that I cooked. I was just in such a good mood. I was like, Lord, she's coming back. The next day, Sunday, this past Sunday, my mom had started to screaming again. And the screams started getting worse and more consistent, just like they were the day before I called the ambulance to get her from the Lanham rehab. So she went from that to 3 days at Holy Cross of being like, and then now back. And now, so we're like, what the fuck? Well, this is a case, like, what? Yes, we know bed sores can hurt. We know that now. But just the whole entire story of what I just told y'all, we need somebody to be like, Terry, that happened to my grandmother or my grandfather, and we didn't understand it either. They just one day was in so much pain they couldn't walk. And then next thing you know, they got a bed. Like, what the hell is happening? And she is back to y'all all this week. That's why I had a mini breakdown on Tuesday, and I'm just being transparent. Because it wouldn't stop. And I was with her, and she was just, I can't even explain it. And I haven't been able to handle that. So my sister has had to take over. I haven't been able to go back to see my mother since Tuesday. It has taken me all the way down. I have not been outside of my home to get fresh air since then. And my sister got on my case this morning. She was like, Sir, you got to get yourself together. You got to get some fresh air. You got to. So, and I am going to. But I had to let everybody know. Everybody been wondering, like, what. So if you ask me, so what's going on? What's wrong with your mom? I don't have an answer because we don't know what's this called. It's just been too weird. So is she screaming now because of the bed sore, or is she screaming now because of the bed sore and the leg? Did the cortisone shot heal the leg part, and now the bed sore is a problem? If we heal the bed sore, will my mama be able to walk again? Because we can't give her morphine. They said you can't give her morphine She only got morphine while she was at Holy Cross, and they gave it to her intravenously, and the pain went away. So y'all, when you say what's your mother, what's going, I don't know. I don't have an answer. I can't say, oh, my mom has this or that. That's why I needed to give y'all the entire story. If you've ever heard of a situation like what we're going through, my sister and I would love for you to just like reach out to us, because we're at a point where we're just like, you know, like the screams are really like a tick. You ever seen somebody with a tick, like they can't help it? So like every few seconds it's so hard to watch. So hard to watch that. So that's where we are. It leaves us with, you know, like, what do? We don't know. So I've just been like, okay, God, I'm gonna step out of the way and I'm gonna work on myself this week, because I was sick, like physically sick. Until today is the first day that I've been able to keep food on my stomach longer than, I told my sister was like, how long? I was like, well, it's been almost 24 hours that I haven't had any more issues, and I've been able to be okay. I don't think you can get morphine. It's a controlled substance. I don't think you can get morphine outside of being in the hospital. I don't know. I'm not a medical professional. I have no idea. But I don't think you can. So we have gotten her tramadol, which makes her mind even worse. We've gotten her Oxycontin. Nothing has worked. Nothing. So then we got to go through this process of applying for Medicaid, because if she does need long-term care, we can't afford it. And that's why I was telling y'all the other day, middle class suffer because we're not well off enough to be able to afford the highest quality of long-term care, skilled nursing that we would want. But we're not indigent enough to qualify for help. So my mom's retirement check makes just enough for them to reject her for any assistance, but not enough to afford what we really need for her. So if you know of anything for us, I'll go back and read these comments and try to eat some food. I gotta try to eat something, and I'll read the comments. But if you have heard of something like that, if you are like, oh, that happened to my grandma or my granddad or whatever, please reach out to me or my sister, because we are at wit's end now. Because the weirdest thing is, my mom doesn't have a terminal illness. My mom doesn't have, you know, her blood work. She don't have like cancer or kidney disease or none of that. Happy Saturday. And I'll give y'all an update when I have one. Okay?